Hey girl, this is Sarah Pritchett, confidence coach for women who need to get their shit together, as well as business coach for women who are interested in empowering and serving women through their own businesses. Today, I want to talk about a touchy topic, but it's one that we're always searching for, I feel like, because if anyone who has been in love before knows that there sometimes comes a time where that love, no longer lives there anymore and you guys break up, right? And it's time for you to heal your heart. So whether that's a boyfriend, girlfriend, or that's a husband, wife, and you have to get a divorce, right? We all have to go through that grieving process where we kind of move through stages in order to heal our hearts and move on from those past relationships. But because we spend so much time with those people, right? And oftentimes we talk about the future a lot, or we really like them, and we share all different types of things, right? It's often difficult to move forward knowing that at some point that was a person you really cared for, you really loved, and you thought, oh my God, this could be my husband possibly one day. And that ain't always the case. But I just want to give you a couple of quick tips for those of you who are out there who, even if it's been a year ago, it could have been 2 weeks ago, it could have been 3 months ago, it could have been yesterday. But I think that this is a message that there's someone out there that wants to hear. And if that is you, then hopefully you'll be able to take some of my tips and implement them into your life. Okay. So I have my notes over here. And again, this is how to heal from an ex. And I'm just going to kind of take you through really quick the steps or the process that you can take to go through that transition from being in that relationship and moving on so that you can move on to bigger and better things. Now, I will tell you that usually my perspective focuses on if they're an ex for a reason, and there's really not a reason for you to kind of go back and open up that door, because I feel as though when God closes one door, he will open up one that's bigger and better, right? So if you're looking for a tip on how to get your ex back, I'm not your girl. I'm not going to help you out with that. Okay, so first things first, when it comes to how to heal from an ex, the first thing that you need to do is you need to really sit down and take some time. And you already know that I advocate journaling, is to sit down and take some time to tell yourself the truth about what actually happened with your relationship. Tell yourself the truth. And I don't mean I'm blaming him, oh, because he cheated or because he was a different religion or because X, Y, and Z. I want you to tell yourself the truth about what really happened with the relationship. Right? Take some time out and sit down with pen and paper and write down what happened with that relationship. Okay, what were some things that you like? What were some things you did not like? What did you not like about how things unfolded? What are some things that you really loved and enjoyed and that you wish or you wish will also be in your relationship to come, right? I want you to sit down, try to make some connections, try to make sense of it, and then tell yourself the truth about how you feel. Like, I feel angry as a result of this, or I feel hurt, or I feel disappointed in myself for being in this situation again, or I'm happy that we were able to end on such good terms, or even though this is bittersweet for me, I'm happy to move on, even though I really liked him, right? Or I really thought he was the one, even though it turns out that he was not, right? So I want you to really sit down with yourself and tell yourself the truth about what happened with that relationship. That's the first thing, okay? Then the second thing I want you to do is I want you to give up the story that you keep telling yourself about what actually happened, because I feel like with breakups, sometimes we kind of replay all of the really good stuff that happened, and we sometimes overlook some of the negative stuff because nobody wants to think about the negative shit that happened, right? And when you focus so much on the positive stuff, that's how you get into those spaces where they're able to come back into your life, especially if they were really toxic or it was really unhealthy, where they can pop up again in your life and you take them back over and over again, if that is the case for you. And that's because you're replaying that positive stuff and you're like, oh my God, there's still a possibility we can get married. There's still a possibility that this could work, right? And again, if it was going to work, my assumption is that it would have worked the first time around. Yes, there is time and space for second chances, but in this case, again, I'm focusing on helping you to move forward and move in the direction of someone new. Okay. So with that being said, again, number one is to tell yourself the truth about how you really feel, about what really went on in that relationship. Number two is to give up the story that you're telling yourself where that is making you think, oh my God, he was just so great and so fabulous, and we just really connected, and I just don't know how. Give up the story. And while you're giving up the story, what I want you to focus on while you continue to journal is what are the lessons that you can take away about relationships, about men, and then most importantly about yourself. What are the lessons that I learned from being with this person in this relationship? Because if you don't get your lessons in this relationship, the next person that comes along is going to seem great and wonderful, but then they're going to have the same shit or the same issues, and you're going to have to deal with those same issues all over again. I was just reading my journal the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy, because I saw a pattern, right, with one relationship to another relationship. And I read, one of the fears that I had, and it was the same fear in the next relationship. And you know why? Because I never handled that fear, right? I just kind of went on with that relationship. We broke up. I moved on to somebody new. And then for whatever reason, I decided to go back and read my love journal. And I was like, oh my God, what the... Oh, sorry, I was getting real. Like, I'm like, oh my God, it's the same thing, right? And that's, again, because if you do not give up the old story, you do not heal, you do not get the lessons that God has intended for you, you're going to do the same shit all over again. And you're going to be like, love is so hard. Love is so difficult. Why can't it be easy? Why can't it be this and why can't it be that? And that's because the purpose of a relationship, I believe that relationships are assignments. I believe that relationships, they're not there to make you happy. As the fabulous Marianne Williamson, if you don't know who she is, go look her up, how she always says, they're not there to immediately make you happy. Relationships are there for your growth. They are there for your spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional growth. And most people don't understand that because they're looking to a relationship to be their end all be all and to give them everything that they need, give them love, give them this, give them that. Nobody's giving you that. So that's something you really do have to keep in mind, and that's a whole different video, which all should be on self-love and self-care and taking care of yourself before depending on someone else to give you what you need to first give yourself. So 1, tell the truth. 2, give up the story and learn your lessons. 3 is to forgive him, and then to forgive yourself. And you're not forgiving yourself so that he's off the hook. You're forgiving yourself so that you can move on, right? I didn't say forget. I said forgive, so that you can move on and still be happy, still move on to the next person, but still have your sanity and have it intact, right? It is a very powerful from a spiritual standpoint when you forgive that person and you also forgive yourself. And if you want to take it to the next level, pray for that person for the next 15, 30 days and see how your whole entire being from an energetic level, right, from a spiritual standpoint, will really change and really shift. If you pray for that person and send them very positive vibes, it will completely shift and completely change, right, your perspective on that person and your perspective on that relationship. Just give it a shot, but please make sure you forgive forgive him and forgive yourself. And then fourthly, what you need to do is you now need to reclaim yourself, right? So now that you've had this experience, there's no way that you can be the same, and it's time for you to move on to to whether you're going to move on to a new relationship or you're going to remain single for a period of time. Either way, you need to kind of reclaim, who are you going to be moving forward, right? What did I learn? Like I said earlier, figure out what your lessons are. What did I learn from that relationship so that I can move forward into a new space, right? Either where I'm single, where I'm dating, or I'm preparing for marriage, I'm preparing to be a wife. How can I move forward? Who am I going to be? What type of woman, right? What type of new behaviors, new beliefs, new thoughts am I going to take into my single season? Am I going to take into preparing to be a wife? Am I going to take into the new dates that I go on to? What can I do different? And also, what are some things that I need to continue doing that I was really good at in that previous relationship? Right? So also think about those things, because I'm sure there are things that you do well, even if you don't realize them. But sometimes we often focus on the negative things, but reclaiming who are you going to be, right? Moving forward is so, so important. Okay. So again, number 1, tell the truth. Number 2 is to give up the story that you're telling yourself and identify the lessons that you need to learn. or that you have already learned. And then in that single season for step 4, which is reclaiming who you're going to be moving forward, that's the season in which you will want to focus on those things that you need to get information and work on before you move to the next person. Okay. So 1, tell the truth. 2, give up the story. 3, forgive him and forgive yourself. And 4, reclaim who you're going to be moving forward as a partner. Right? As a partner is what you need to focus on. Okay. So hopefully this video helps you today. Hopefully it will help you heal your heart so that you can find the love that you absolutely deserve.